You know, those tiny accessories that somehow cost way more than they should. I was looking for a drink holder for my hot tub and found one with room for just 2 cans. The price, $35. Absolutely not. So today we're making one ourselves for a fraction of the price and hopefully without accidentally inventing a very expensive sponge. The first stop is one of my favorite websites, Boxes.py. If you've never used it before, you're making life much harder than it needs to be. Instead of drawing every single finger joint manually, the website does almost everything for you. All I have to do is enter the dimensions, choose the material thickness, pick the style, and let the computer do the boring part. Today's design is intentionally simple. I'm not trying to reinvent the drink holder. Its only purpose is to stop my drinks from floating away. Finally, I double-check the laser settings. Power, speed, layers, everything looks good, which usually makes me slightly nervous, because projects have a funny habit of going wrong immediately after I say that. Time to wake up the laser. Today's material is 3mm plywood. Officially, it's 3mm. Reality tends to disagree. That's why I actually told Boxes.py the material is only 2.85mm thick. That tiny adjustment makes the finger joints fit much tighter. It's one of those little tricks that saves a lot of frustration later. Now the laser finally gets to work. This is honestly one of my favorite moments in every project. Watching a flat sheet slowly transform into real parts never gets old. The laser quietly moves across the plywood, cutting every finger joint, every opening, every little detail. Meanwhile, I'm standing here pretending I have an important supervisory role, when in reality I'm just watching an expensive machine do all the work. A few minutes later the cutting is finished. Now comes the satisfying part, removing all the pieces from the sheet. Some of them practically fall out on their own. Others need a tiny push, which is exactly what I was hoping for. No unfinished cuts, no burned corners, no surprises hiding underneath. With all the pieces cut, it's finally time to see if this thing actually becomes a box. Out comes the PVA glue, probably the hardest working employee in my workshop. Every single finger joint gets a generous amount, not too much, because cleaning dried glue isn't exactly my favorite hobby. One panel goes together, then another, and before long the whole thing starts taking shape. At this point it almost feels like adult Lego, just with more glue, more sawdust, and significantly more opportunities to mess everything up. Of course, finger joints are designed to fit tightly, which is great, until you're the one trying to push them together. Thankfully, I have a rubber mallet, one of the simplest tools in the workshop, but somehow one of the most useful, since this project is going to spend its entire life next to water. I go back and brush another layer of glue over every inside joint. Think of it as cheap insurance. Water always finds the smallest gap, and I'd rather stop it now than discover it 6 months from now while chasing floating drink cans around the hot tub. Besides, a few extra minutes today might save rebuilding the whole thing later. And rebuilding things is only fun the first time. Structurally, everything is finished, but visually, it still looks exactly like plywood. Functional, yes. Beautiful, not quite. Time for the paint booth. I chose a dark gray color because it matches the inside of my hot tub almost perfectly. The goal is to make it look like it was always supposed to be there, not like I built it yesterday in my workshop. The first coat always looks a little disappointing. It never covers everything. It somehow makes the project look worse before it gets better. Thankfully, that's completely normal. A second coat later, everything starts coming together. The plywood disappears, the color becomes rich and even. And suddenly this no longer looks homemade. It actually looks like something a company would happily sell for $35. Which is slightly annoying, because that's exactly why I started this project in the first place. Once the paint has fully dried, I grab a can of clear spray lacquer. Paint looks nice, but water has a habit of ruining nice things. So I apply several coats over the entire holder, every surface, every corner, every edge, hopefully giving it enough protection to survive years of hot tub weekends. Future me will decide whether this was enough. I'm just trying to make his life slightly easier, or at least slightly less expensive. Most importantly, I didn't spend $35 on something I knew I could build myself. Sure, making it took longer than clicking the Buy Now button. But where's the fun in that? Besides, now I have something custom made. I learned a few things during the process. And I got another excuse to spend time in the workshop. I'd call that a pretty good deal. So, was it worth making instead of buying? Absolutely. The materials cost a fraction of the online price. The build was surprisingly straightforward. And the final result honestly looks like something that could have come with the hot tub from the factory. Not bad for a few pieces of plywood, a little glue, some paint, and a stubborn refusal to overpay for simple accessories. If you enjoyed the build, make sure to subscribe. It's completely free, which is already a better deal than that $35 drink holder. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.